One.
Hi, Rice here. Today I'm going to show you how to edit your lab report template file and then how to add a table in one of a couple ways. And so all of this will hopefully help you do your lab report well that you need to get done. So the first thing to do is to find the file. And so you look around, it's going to be either within the classroom, so maybe in the classroom or maybe in your drive, it's going to be somewhere. You need to find it. And then once you're there, you can open it and then you can immediately start editing. So from that point, you can just start to type things into your document and it should all work out. You can type like normal. You can select text, do bold or not bold. Maybe you want to do italic for your name. Let's say the due date is Friday. What's tomorrow going to be? September 8th. That's right, it's the 8th. It's going to be the 8th on Friday. So you can start to do things like this so that you can fill in the different sections of your lab so that it's ready to go. Some things you won't need, like for this particular lab, there weren't really lab partners for some of the classes. And then you'll go through and do some different editing. So like here for the introduction, I will be deleting this, and then I can just say, this is my background. Now remember, you're going to need to have 3 sentences. So you'll want to make sure that when you do it, you say more than just this is my background, obviously. So 3 sentences there. And then you'll need to do a hypothesis, which is an if, and then and a because. Now you'll probably make it normal sentence structure, not giant highlighted things. I'm telling you that just to point that out. And then you'll list out your variables. You talk about your materials, your procedure. If you're going to do materials, you'll need to make a list. And so 3 columns bulleted, that can be a little bit tricky. So let's clarify exactly what that means. We want to say this takes the Bunsen burner, and then it also took a striker. We needed goggles. Let's see, some other stuff. Paper, pencil. It needed a nichrome wire. So there's a lot of stuff, and this is 6. This will be enough to do it. So I've got these things, and I just listed them here. And if I were to write them like this, you can see there'd be a lot of dead space over here, a lot of useless stuff. So instead, I'm going to do those 3 columns. And so to do that, I'm going to take these. I like to make them a bulleted list. That helps me. And you can see that condenses them and it adds these bullets off to the left. But then we can also do some other things. So I can click here and do format and columns. And I want to have 3 columns. So I click on this, and it takes these and it puts them in 3 columns across so that it's nice and wide across the paper. It doesn't waste nearly as much space. You can see it got a lot shorter. And so that's what we mean when we say 3 bulleted columns or 3 columns. So there's that. The procedure is a little bit more straightforward. It's just a list. To make a numbered list, you'd use this button right here. This image is probably good to keep in there if you can find a way to put that in there nicely. Then results, you've got data, a data table format, and a graph, and that's really why we're here. So let's talk about a data table. If I want to insert a data table, I'm going to need to have a few things. I can go to insert like this and insert a table, and then there's lots of options here. This lets me select how many columns and rows I want to have, and I can really get big if I feel like it. But for right now, I want to have enough for a heading, qualitative, quantitative, and then I want to make sure that I can get, I'll go with 3 by 5. That seems good. So what I want to do here is say this is my quantitative, and then this would be my qualitative data. And then down over here, I'll say this is for position A, this is for position B, this is for position C, and this is for position D, based on the flame. And I'm talking about the ones that are in the image up here, A, B, C, and D. So that's what we're looking at. And you can take and move around how the columns relate to each other by clicking and dragging. You need to be careful to make sure that it's showing the whole thing moving and not just one, because sometimes it gets a little weird. You may need to play around. But then you can graph out all sorts of things. Like we said yesterday in my group, we ranked our hottest part of the flame in sections in order from 1 to 4, 1 being the coldest and 4 being the hottest. Then we said, I think that this was the next hottest and this was a little cooler. So you can rank them like that so that you have a full set of data. And then you'll want to say lots of things. You can say this is a description. You're going to say different things in different parts of the table so that it's very clear what all of your data is. But this would be a good way to make a data table. Now, I'm going to make another video in a second that'll show you how to make a graph from a data table. But to use that, or to do that, we're going to use Google Sheets. So that's it for now. See ya.